I am 93 years old, and if I were given a choice to live everything again or to forget everything that happened, I would choose to forget, because remembering hurts. Not because of the tragedies, not because of the losses, but because of the ordinary days I lived without paying attention. The conversations I half listened to, the people I assumed would always be there. I thought those moments were permanent. I thought I could return to them later. I was wrong. I have lived almost a century. I have buried 2 husbands, 1 child, most of my friends, and everyone who knew me when I was young. I have watched the world change again and again, and through all of it, one truth followed me like a shadow. We live as if time is abundant, when it is the most fragile thing we have. I did not learn this in old age. I learned it early. I was 32 years old. It was 1968, late October, a quiet Thursday. We lived in a small house outside Cleveland. My husband's name was Michael. He worked at the plant. We had 1 little boy, Andrew. He was 5 years old. That morning, Michael kissed my forehead and said, "I'll see you tonight." He never came home. There was an accident. They told me it was quick. They told me he didn't suffer. What they did not tell me was the part that stays. When someone dies suddenly, they take all your unfinished moments with them. Every "I love you" you thought you had time to say. Every conversation you postponed. Every ordinary day you believed was guaranteed. That night, sitting alone at the kitchen table, I made myself a promise. I promised I would never waste another day. I promised I would live more intentionally. I promised I would stop postponing my life. And I broke that promise, not loudly, quietly. I remarried. I stayed busy. I told myself I was doing better, but here is what I did not understand back then. Surviving loss does not mean you have changed. You forget. You drift back into routine. You begin to believe you have time again, and that forgetting, that slow return to autopilot, is the real danger. My second husband's name was Thomas. He was gentle, patient, a quiet man. We had 38 years together, and what I miss most is not the big conversations. It is the ordinary evenings, the times he asked me to sit with him, and I said, "Not now," the walks he suggested that I postponed. Sometimes I remember how he would sit in his chair waiting for me to finish what I was doing. He rarely insisted, he rarely complained. I see now that it wasn't patience. It was a goodbye stretched slowly across years. This is the truth about living a long life. You do not lose people just once. You lose them again and again each time you remember how much more present you could have been. My son Andrew died at 47, cancer. I sat beside his hospital bed, holding his hand, and he said, "Mum, I'm sorry I didn't call more." And I lied. I told him we had enough time. We didn't. Even after everything I had lost, I still caught myself looking at my phone while someone was speaking to me, still sighing when I heard the same story again, still thinking, "I'll pay attention tomorrow." Tomorrow does not always come. You may be listening and thinking, "Well, everyone dies." That is not the point. The point is that you live as if you are the exception, as if you will slow down later, as if you will love better later, as if there will be time later. I am 93 years old, and I can tell you this with certainty. Later does not arrive. The moments that matter most are not the milestones, not weddings, not achievements, not celebrations. What stays are the unnoticed hours, the walk you almost skipped, the voice you truly heard, the afternoon where nothing happened except that you were there. So do not postpone what matters. Call the people you love. Sit with them. Look at them while they are still here, because I promise you this with everything I have left. Later never comes,